Have you noticed something strange about NBA off seasons lately? It used to feel like every July there was another superstar changing teams. Whether it was LeBron, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, even role players signing huge contracts dominated the news cycle. But now, every headline seems to be about draft picks, salary dumps, trade exceptions, second round picks, and teams trying to stay under something called the second apron. So what happened? Why does it feel like free agency doesn't matter nearly as much anymore? Well, it's because one rule has quietly changed the entire NBA. And today we're talking about how the second apron has completely reshaped team building, why blockbuster free agency is fading away, and why winning back-to-back championships has become harder than ever. Let's get into it. Now, before your eyes glaze over hearing salary cap terminology, stick with me, because this isn't just accounting, this is basketball strategy. The NBA has always had a salary cap, and for years, if an owner wanted to spend big, they simply paid luxury taxes. If you had a billionaire owner, you could keep your stars together. You could keep adding veterans. You could basically buy yourself a longer championship window. The new collective bargaining agreement changed all of that. The league introduced what's called the second apron, and it's much more than another luxury tax line. It's essentially a financial punishment zone. Cross that line, and suddenly your front office loses many of the tools that made roster building possible. No taxpayer mid-level exception, major trade restrictions, limited signing trades, frozen future draft picks if you stay above it long enough. Even buyout additions become difficult. But it's no longer about whether an owner is willing to spend money. Money doesn't solve that problem anymore. The rules themselves stop you from improving. Think about this. When was the last time free agency completely changed the league? Now compare that to the trade deadline or NBA draft week. That's where everything happens now, because trades give teams something free agency doesn't. Control. General managers aren't asking, who's the biggest superstar available? They're asking, how do we stay flexible 2 years from now? Every move has become a puzzle. Can we stay under the second apron? Can we still make trades next season? Will his contract prevent us from paying our young players? Instead of chasing the biggest names, teams are protecting flexibility. That's why draft picks suddenly feel more valuable than ever. This might be the biggest change fans have noticed. The NBA draft has basically become free agency 2.0. Teams are making huge deals before players even hear their names called. Veterans get moved, expiring contracts become assets, future first-round picks get traded like currency because rookie contracts are gold now. They're affordable, they're predictable, and they allow contenders to build depth without destroying their payroll. General managers today almost look more like financial advisors than basketball executives. Every transaction is about balancing talent with future flexibility. Remember when everyone wanted a big three, or even a big four? Miami, Golden State, Brooklyn tried it, Phoenix tried it. For years, the formula was simple. Collect as many stars as possible and figure everything else out later. The second apron makes that incredibly difficult, because eventually someone has to get paid, and when everyone gets paid, you lose flexibility. Suddenly you're asking impossible questions. Can we keep our fourth best player? Can we afford another extension? Do we sacrifice our bench? Do we trade a starter before losing him for nothing? Depth has become just as valuable as the superstar talent. There's something we haven't seen in a long time. Here's something I don't think enough people are talking about. Winning one championship is hard. Winning two may actually be harder today than it ever been. Historically, championship teams get better together. Same core comes back, the chemistry improves, role players stay. Everyone understood their roles. Now, winning creates financial problems. Young players deserve raises, veterans become more expensive, luxury taxes explode, second apron penalties kick in. Before long, the defending champions are breaking apart. Not because they want to, because the rules almost force them to. Success has become expensive, and that's shortening championship windows across the league. Have you noticed teams collecting first-round picks like their Pokemon cards? There's a reason. First-round pick isn't just a future player anymore. It's 4 years of affordable production. That's incredible value, especially when every dollar matters. A rookie who becomes a rotation player gives you quality minutes for a fraction of the cost of a veteran. That's why teams keep stacking picks. They're building sustainable payrolls, not just future talent. And one thing I actually like about these new rules is parity. For years, people complained that the richest teams always had an advantage. Spend more, keep everyone, outlast everybody. Now, money alone isn't enough. Smart drafting matters, player development matters, finding value matters. Teams like Oklahoma City, Indiana, Orlando can realistically compete without having one of the league's biggest payrolls. That's healthy for the NBA. Now here's the $1,000,000 question. Can we ever see another dynasty? Think about it. The Celtics, the Showtime Lakers, Michael Jordan's Bulls, Tim Duncan's Spurs, the Warriors. Those teams dominated entire eras. Could they survive today's financial rules? Maybe. But it would require nearly perfect drafting, perfect development, great health, smart contracts, excellent timing. Basically, everything has to go right. One bad extension, one injury, one failed draft pick, and your championship window could slam shut. Dynasties aren't impossible, they're just much harder to build now. And this is where the debate gets interesting. On one hand, fans love parity. Nobody who's winning the title anymore. More cities have hope. More franchises believe they're contenders. That's exciting. On the other hand, sports are built on greatness. We remember dynasties. We remember legendary rivalries. Those iconic teams define generations. Some fans hate seeing championship rosters broken apart because of accounting instead of basketball. Personally, I think the truth sits somewhere in the middle. The NBA chose competitive balance over prolonged dominance. Whether history views that as the right decision, we'll find out over the next decade. The second Apron didn't kill free agency. It simply changed what matters. Today's NBA isn't won by the team that signs the biggest free agent. It's won by the team that drafts well, develops talent, makes smart trades, and manages its finances better than everyone else. In many ways, the most valuable player in today's NBA isn't on the court. It's sitting in the front office. Look at the salary cap spreadsheet, and whether fans love it or hate it, that spreadsheet is now deciding who hangs championship banners. So, let me know what you think. Has the second Apron made the NBA better by creating more parity? Or has it gone too far by making it almost impossible to keep championship teams together? And let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into how the NBA really works behind the scenes, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.